Hi everybody! Today we will be talking about new subject which is very popular lately, and it's about biofilms. Maybe somebody have heard already about biofilms, but for those who haven't, I will explain today what are biofilms, how they are formed, what they can do in our body, and what are the tricks and what we can do to get rid of these biofilms that bacteria and fungi and microorganisms form inside our body. The National Institute of Health recognizes that amongst all the microbial and chronic infections, 65 to 80% are because of the biofilm formation in the body. The first time this is observed in 17th century by Anthony von Leeuwenhoek, which checked the teeth and found that there are some creatures living on the teeth of in our mouth. So even now, if you scrape on your teeth, there will be like a layer of biofilm actually, that our bacteria, microbes, fungi, that they form around our teeth. So they, as soon as they touch some surface, they create like biofilm that's in a matrix where all they are hiding, and they can live and they can grow and multiply inside this biofilm, and they can create problems. So biofilm formation begins when the free-floating microorganisms like bacteria, fungi and yeast, they float freely and they attach to the surface with like hair. They have like a hair and they attach to the surface, and they grow and they create like extracellular polymeric substance, EPS, which is like fluid. It's like I can give you an association. It's like jelly, and like a locum, Turkish locum, you know, it's like a jelly, and inside the jelly you can see in the locum like nuts inside. That's the microorganisms. They live inside this jelly, and this is called a biofilm, and it's with a fluid inside. So what they do inside this biofilm, they live inside, and if this is a pathogenic, usually it's pathogenic, the bad bacteria and bad fungi, they live here, they multiply, they are protected with this biofilm, and they can cause damage. They can eat or damage the tissue to which they are attached. It can be gastric wall, gut wall, and cause the leaky gut, of course. And sometimes if they go through the gastrointestinal wall, they will go into the blood, and this biofilm can cause a lot of damage. Usually it attaches to the surfaces, to bones or to breast implants, to mechanical heart valves, to joint prosthetics, to pacemakers, and they can create colonies there, and they can create a biofilm, which then, because this tissue cannot defend itself, if they attach to some surface, some organ, then the tissue can defend itself and create antibodies or white blood cells or lymphocytes to release these biofilms, to kill these microorganisms. But these foreign objects which are in the body, they can attach to these objects and create a huge biofilm and create a lot of problems, health problems. Okay, so what they do actually, they live inside this biofilm, these microorganisms, and they grow, and they when they grow too much, and they will disperse, they will like break, and particles like maybe free-floating microorganisms or part of the biofilm, then it will go further down and create a new biofilm attached to some other surface and create a new biofilm there. So we can have like biofilms inside our intestinal tract all around. This is very difficult to investigate first, to check, because they check it through the pipe, through our mouth, and inside this pipe they have like a string, and they go inside the pipe and they scratch from the surface inside the intestines, and they take it out to investigate what is inside these biofilms. So what is the main problem with these biofilms? The main problem is that even if we want to kill some bacteria inside our intestine, we have overgrowth, even if we take antibiotics, they can hide inside this biofilm, and the antibiotics cannot kill them. So after the treatment with the antibiotics, they can again proliferate, and they can multiply, and they are still alive. So that's the main problem. They're resistant, they say resistant to antibiotics, right? So many people have experienced this kind of thing, that after getting some treatment, they are better for a while, but after that it will reoccur, the same disease, the same problems. So it was not helpful to clear up the whole bacteria, the bad bacteria, right? If somebody had this experience, just write in the comments, I want to know, and that means that there is a biofilm and a colony of microorganisms which live in biofilm, and they are protected there. Okay, so soon I will explain what we can do to disrupt this biofilm and release it and clean our intestines. It is estimated that 65% of all infections, chronic infections, bacterial infections, are as a result of the biofilms. To give you a more clear picture about biofilms, you can imagine like in some river or near the sea, just where there are stones which are half in the water and half outside, that this part which is near the water, it's slippery, slimy, right? So this is actually created by biofilm from the bacteria that lives inside the sea, and it's different. They investigated, they checked, because the biofilm on the top of the surface, on the water, on the seawater, and inside the water is different. So the biofilm, as soon as it touches the surface, it's creating actually the biofilm. And actually they checked the stool samples. The outside of the stool has different kind of microorganisms and bacteria, and it's different from the inside. So the biofilm, it's actually on the outside. As the stool travels, it attaches a few samples from the biofilm, but actually when we take it out from the stool, they're already dead. So that's not a living biofilm. The thing is, the living is which is still in the intestines, and they're still attached there, and they are causing troubles. And the infections which are on the implanted medical devices, they're much worse, because they can, like for example breast implants, like silicone, these biofilms form and gradually increase, and the bacteria and microorganisms in this biofilm are attached to the surface, to these silicones, and start damaging it, and it proliferates, and it will start leaking. The silicone from the implant starts leaking inside our body, and usually it takes years, sometimes maybe 8 to 10 years, and the person with the implants may experience some bad health, and without any reason, not knowing what's going on. Same goes with the joints, with the pain who has implanted joint implants or heart implants, bypass or something like that, which is not natural from the tissue, from the organs, which is like a metal. And they experience more with years. It doesn't happen overnight. It takes years to create these biofilms and to create the damage. But slowly, the person will experience more and more health problems. So now let's talk about intestinal biofilms and how to clean them, because they're the most important, and from there everything starts. I mean, from there the biofilms from the leaky gut, they goes inside our body and creates more problems. So we want to clear our intestines, and how we can do that. There are a few antimicrobial agents, I mean herbs, that we can use and food. It's some of them are garlic, which is very good for fungal biofilms, then cinnamon, oregano, and curcumin, which is part of the turmeric, and acetylcysteine, then apple cider vinegar, and ginger. Yes, they're all good in disrupting this biofilm and making it more vulnerable. Plus, the most important thing is, even if we eat all these nutrients, all these herbs, we need to make the intestine moving, right? So when there is a fast river flowing, there is no slimy biofilm on the stones, right? But when it is stagnant water, where it's not so moving so fast, then it can create biofilm. So where is stagnation in the intestine. So whenever we have stagnation or difficulties in clearing up the bowel, the food is not moving, then we have more chance in having and creating biofilms inside our intestines. So what we need to move our food, and we can do that in many ways. So we can do it in drinking plenty of water, in eating less carbohydrates and more vegetables, fruits, like that, and exercise, move more. I hope this was very interesting subject, because there are plenty of research on this subject. It's very popular now, and everybody is interested in this, how it's created and what is causing, because it's difficult to investigate and to test it. That's why. And there is a great funding now. A lot of money is funded to investigate these kind of biofilms and to test and create maybe some medications or possible ways of easily treating and killing these biofilms. So if you like this video, and if you know that somebody might have these biofilms and have problems with this, please share it with that person, and I hope they will know more about these biofilms and how to protect them, how to eliminate these kind of biofilms. And I hope you find it interesting, and see you next time. Bye!